as St. Martin, our people, we have to work together, you know. So moving forward,
you just need to get back to basics, and from there you could see everything.
Do not settle for less in life. And entrepreneurship is the best way to go. Working for yourself, 2 thumbs up. A wonderful good afternoon to our St. Martin people all around the world, and our SOS family all around the world. Welcome to your program, Strictly Business, with your host, Mr. Brian Barry, alongside our co-host, Mr. Julian Rolax Jr. Call up a friend, call up a family member, call up someone and tell them tune in to SOS Radio. It's another beautiful Sunday here on the friendly island of St. Martin for another interesting program of Strictly Business. But of course, before we get started, we'd like to shout out and thank all our sponsors that make this program possible. First, if you're looking to do some great grocery shopping today or during the week, you got to go and visit Aki Supermarket, located right there on the Illage Road, for all your grocery shopping needs today. And if you want that fresh haircut for the kids, for the ladies, or also for the men, go and visit the Los Mejores Barbershop, also located right there on the Illage Road. And if you need the movies, you need to watch some great entertainment, the #1 spot, that's the Video Block right there in French Quarter. If you're thinking movies, think the Video Block, where you can get 30 movies loaded on your USB, your hard drive, or even your phone. Also, for some great tasting food, we got Jerky's. We got Jerky's Tiki Hut right there on the Illage Road for some great tasting barbecue food, chicken and ribs. We also got Jerky Tiki Hut by the Plaza Casino as well. And if you're over the hill, we got Caribbean Jerkies. They're located right across the Megaplex Cinemas. Also, not forgetting, we got Fat Boy Jimmy right there on the Pondville for some great tasting food. We also like to thank GBE, our water and electricity company. Thank you so much, GB, for your continued support. And if you're looking for apartments or commercial spaces, #1 place to call, that's J&J Properties. Give them a call at 588-1216. That is J&J Properties, 588-1216. And for all your electronics, your flat screen TVs, your surround system, you got to go and visit the Bold Chance Electronics Store, located right there on Front Street. Thank you so much, Bold Chance. And also we got Stasha's Restaurant right next to Aki Supermarket for some great tasting food. Give them a call at 550-9108 or 524-9834. That's Stasha's. And also coming soon, we got Supreme Supermarket, which is going to be opening soon, located right there on the Arch Road for some, do your grocery shopping there as well. Thank you so much for all our sponsors. Brother Junie in the house, good afternoon, what's up?
Good morning, brother, how are you doing today?
Blessed, man, productive.
Blessed, happy to be here again.
Always a pleasure.
SOS, Billy D, thank you so much.
Big shout out to the senior.
Big shout out to the senior also. We have a special guest today, boy.
Yes, sir, in the hot seat.
We have a special guest today, MP Doran. How are you doing today, brother?
Good afternoon, St. Martin. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Rolax, Mr. Barry, to Mr. Billy D. And I really would like to say thank you for having me on your show today. Really appreciate the invitation.
Pleasure for having you.
Pleasure. MP, first I would like to thank you so much, for coming in by us, because I know you guys have a difficult schedule. But what I appreciate from you, you're very access to the public. Accessible. Yeah. You're not a guy that be hiding to the people. That I believe myself. I believe that's very important, because when you ask them for the vote, that you ask them for you to help them.
Indeed.
And then when they want your help, they can find you. Not that they send you a text and then you never answer,
exactly.
or they can never hear from you again.
The public day too, I have every week.
Yes, indeed.
That's a big role.
That's a big role. Congratulations on your office again, of course, and your job that you're doing. First, I still would like to ask you, MP, when you started, because I've been following the Parliament.
Yeah.
When you started off very quiet, listening, observing everything, and now you letting go.
He was learning the ropes.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I would like to say more of course, everything, it was a new environment.
Yeah.
You're studying. I did a lot of research, busy researching. You also, in my opinion, I was being a bit giving the government then a fair opportunity then to perform, because it was a fresh government also. But here we are a year later, and the people are still struggling. So at a point in time, you have to turn up the volume and make it be known, because as I go on the road to the people are approaching me like, MP, what's going on with this? What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Because they too are running out of patience. So, I mean, what I'm doing is basically reflecting the sentiments of the people out there in Parliament.
Yeah. You know, MP, I have a question for you too about when you was in office, when you was in office. I saw an article of you. You wrote an article saying that you want to meet your people them bi-weekly. You still do it, or?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, the public day.
Wow.
The public day. So
that's every Wednesday?
I try to do it every Wednesday, but sometimes people, they can't make it on a Wednesday, on a Thursday. So it's not too strict, but I try to do it on Wednesday.
Do it by your home self? Or?
No, at the office.
Wow.
What time?
Depends on when they're available, but I try to do it on Wednesday afternoons. But sometimes it's Thursday, Friday. I work with you once your schedule and my schedule could click. I work with you.
Wow. That's really great, man. I find that's
very important.
Yeah, it's important and it's different too.
Because you feel the sentiments of
the people of Samantha. Yeah. MP, me and Brian has talked about it every week, and you was specifically on the airport with Oral Gibbs, right?
Correct.
Yes. I want to ask you something, because there's even people who work by the airport has asked me, in Parliament, you guys was talking about different stuff about giving the airport 5-6 million, etc. But the main question is, right, maybe I missed it. How did the airport reach to the point that they don't have no money? Meaning,
the coffers,
like
no money.
After 20, 25, 30
struggling
years,
to meet payroll right now.
They're reaching to the government to say, you have to inject money.
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of information that we have been receiving is sketchy as well. It has to do with the airport, it has to do with GB, it has to do with Harbour, it has to do even with the library. Everything is sketchy.
Wow.
You ask for information, and it seems as if ministers who are the shareholder reps for these different things, besides the library, they are getting frustrated and all when you're asking questions. I mean, last week you had the Prime Minister told MP Emmanuel he should go seek the answer by the airport. Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's a procedure in place. I, as a member of Parliament, cannot go to the airport. We have to deal with the government go to the airport, deal with the shareholder rep. So you see clearly that is a serious disconnect, whereas the task of the ministers and so forth. And to answer your question on how the airport reached to that situation, I mean, we've been hit by a devastating storm. That's the same question I've been asking, because we're there for years now. How is it possible GB, the airport, they basically depleted all the funds, and well, with the airport is even worse now, but I mean, GB is soon to come. You have Telem in financial trouble, UTS, and I tell people the only thing we have right now is SZV and APS. And we see the direction that SZV is going as well.
Yeah, there was an article someday there about SZV also.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very serious thing.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting a few weeks ago where the Minister of Health was present, and he was saying basically that they pay the GPs, the general practitioners, so the house doctors, every 30 days and so forth. And I'm to myself, I said, but Minister, 2 days ago there was an article by all the GPs where they're saying that if they don't get the payments, they're going to stop accepting the doctor cards. Here you are in Parliament telling me that you pay them every 30 days. I mean, I don't believe that the GPs would go so hard and make an article if they are being paid every 30 days.
Yeah.
So somewhere there's a layer on truth or whatever you want to call it. And up to now we're still awaiting answers on that. The minister also said that they are up to date with the payments in Santo Domingo and so forth, which I know for a fact, so nobody need to tell me. I know that's not true, because I've been getting WhatsApps almost every week. You get people telling you two situations that are very forthcoming, especially with SLV, is people stuck away and want to return and can't return because, let's say the appointments are so spread out. A guy, he ready to come home, recover everything, and they're still keeping him 2 weeks extra. So 2 weeks extra doing nothing, and they're booking him to come back. So all those things are every day they're paying for him to be there. And then the other situation was that they had to move someone from a hospital because they didn't pay the bills. So SLV didn't pay the bill.
In Colombia?
In Santo Domingo.
Okay.
And they're bringing them back to St. Martin for 2 days to send them to Colombia. So you don't pay the bill. Somebody busy with treatment. You stop them, you tell them, send them St. Martin for 2 days to send them back. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mismatch.
There's a lot of, that's what I'm saying. And
a lot of question marks.
That's why MP, when I see the meeting of injecting 5 million January, the first thing I ask, your colleague Christopher Myron told them that we had the airport for 25, 30 years. Why we need a Dutch now? Now, when I'm hearing 25, 30 years, how can we go to the government? We've been flourishing for years. Jets coming in, planes. I mean, you must be getting money.
Oh, yeah.
So where all this cash is going? What's all of a sudden there's no money in the coffers?
Another big issue that the airport had, or the government and the airport, is that the government did fail to communicate with the bondholders. And the
Okay.
bondholders sent a letter almost a year ago asking the government for a sit down and asking for a guarantee letter to release the funds, because the airport received a tranche, I think it was about 60 million in an insurance payout. So the first tranche, or whatever the case was, and the money went straight into account for the bondholders and was locked. And all the bondholders were asking for a guarantee letter in order for them to be able to proceed with releasing the funds. Well, we all know how that went. They didn't receive the guarantee letter.
They didn't receive the guarantee letter.
There was a lot of back and forth. And no matter how you ask the clear crystal question why the airport can't get a guarantee letter, up to today, you cannot get an answer on it from the government. But I know that this week, so from tomorrow on, I'm not sure the exact dates, I think a delegation, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 ministers, are traveling to meet with the bondholders. And then you see them come in Parliament and say, yes, we have to give the tranche because we don't have no other alternative. And my answer was, of course not. If you stay a year without responding, of course there's going to be no other alternative.
Yeah.
If you ignore your work for a year, and an important thing like the airport, there's not going to be any other alternative. Because when you turn around now, you're back against the wall. You have to take whatever you get. And in this case, take all the conditions that was shoved down our throat, but then also requested. And up to today, the Prime Minister is saying that they offer it. Then the Dutch add to it, and then it was a coalition. Then it was she and Marcel Gomes. And I mean, there's a lot of confusion.
Which you can't-
Conflicting stories.
And I remember the other thing that you put a lot of emphasis on. This was the CEO was asking for help for a Dutch worker, I think CFO.
A CFO, yeah, a
So
Dutch
he's
CFO
looking for a Dutch CFO.
and a HR manager.
You know, MP Mike. Another thing I think on every day is this coalition government now, right? You have 8 seats.
Correct.
They're talking about they're agreeing with a lot of the stuff, and the opposition is coming with some stuff. Okay, we have questions on these certain things, but at the same time, the same coalition is saying the Dutch is taking over. So I kind of confused.
Yeah, I mean, mind games.
Yeah.
Mind games are just what
You're
it
agreeing
is.
with everything, but on the other hand, you're saying they want to lock us up, they want to do this.
Mind games.
So something is wrong then.
Because I mean, if you don't like how something is going, then stand up against it.
You have to-
And that my point was, especially with the airport meeting, and I said it publicly. Mr. Mingo stood up and he said they need somebody that can crunch numbers. So they need to be somebody from Holland. So nobody said Martin could crunch numbers.
Can't crunch numbers.
You know the interesting part is the Minister of Theatre was right next to him, and the Prime Minister was right next to him. And if you don't stand up and say no, I do not agree with that statement, you agree to it.
Yeah.
You believe so.
Yeah.
And that's why the first question I asked the Minister of Theatre last week was, Minister, what do you think about what Mr. Mingo said? But given all the uproar, as you might want to call it, because I mean, I made my position very clear. I felt as though he disrespected the entire population by saying nobody can crunch numbers.
They need somebody from Holland.
And they need somebody from Holland. And then
But
to go
this
even
is to-
further, and then this week now, the minister came and said he also believed it need to be somebody from St. Martin. Of course now after the fact.
Yes.
After the fact. But when you was right there in Parliament, he's the shareholder, you're the shareholder rep for the airport, and you said nothing. You accepted what he said, and it
But
needs to
it
be
boils
somebody
down
from
to
Holland.
that they don't trust our own. That's what it
It's
boils
not
down
that they
to.
don't, it's
When
not
he
that they
say
don't
crunch
trust our
numbers,
own.
he knows we have people to crunch,
Oh,
to crunch numbers.
That's an insult.
But
That,
of course
that's
it
the
is, but
statement
they
alone is
would,
an
they would
insult.
want somebody from Holland who can crunch numbers, who they think they could trust.
But how
Because-
is it about trust?
Because right now, as we can see, the white man them they getting locked up. Let's put it. Our people who always getting locked up. You mean to tell me only St. Martin people in St. Martin corrupt? So that's what it is the people who look like us, we can't put in position because we being accused of all kind of things. But right here, there's so many other crimes going on, but it's look under the table.
You know what happened?
They ain't getting locked
Just to
up.
give a brief synopsis on what you're just saying there, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Because you know, how to put it in perspective? For years now, we have Dutch politicians screaming that St. Martin is corrupt.
Yeah.
So they basically brainwash our own people. So now, even before just to give an example, before he was even elected, I come to you and say, Brian, you know, I'm planning to run on a list, and all our you politicians the same. So they plant the seed already of negativity in people's mind.
Yes.
It's deeply rooted. So now you would see people making statement, all politicians corrupt. I've never done anything corrupt in my life, and if so, then I would have to be dealt with by according to the law. So these are the things we have to slowly but surely start a campaign and get it out of the people's mind. And I do not believe that that's a reason why Mr. Mingo said that, because he knows better. Because he's a St. Martiner that was also given an opportunity. Then he would say that you're not capable of being a CEO either. You need to bring somebody from Holland to be the CEO. What's the difference? How is it, right, Brian? You went to Holland and studied, for instance. I graduated in the same class with you, but I'm born in the Netherlands. I'm Dutch. And I'm more qualified than you. We graduate in the same class. We do the same lessons. How much of our students went Holland? I could name off 10 people capable of filling that CFO position.
I remember hearing you all.
I call off names, and that's just why I know off the top of my head 1, 2, 3. And I know there's many more.
You know, MP, the time is so short. So, another thing I was studying in the parliament too, because I watch most of the meetings. You know, and sometimes you really think you live in a third world country. You know why? When you came in, I was talking to you about, like you say, you can be a people for the country. You can be for the country. But what I'm saying is, right, as a minister, okay, we appoint somebody. I say, Doran, you go there. Doran, you have a basic study. You study in Holland, you have your bachelor's, right? I believe as a minister, I think you should have a certain level. I'm not saying you have to be a master degree, but at least a certain level of education. Because wait, before you go, when I sit down and look at meetings, and I have a minister come in there and just read in a paper, like somebody give it to him, you wonder, hold on, these are 8 people that sit down together and put this person here.
Well, reading is a problem.
What I'm trying to say.
Reading is a problem, man, because preparation is key at the same time. But the problem is, if you don't go through what you read before you read it, if it's the first time you're reading it there, then you have a problem. Because there are going to be some things in that document that maybe are conflicting with the reality or whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you're just taking stuff that your staff put together for you, but you're not going through it, then it's a dangerous thing. Because we had a coincidence that you bring up. There was a situation where I'm sure you heard about me with pushing for the calibration department in the economic affairs and so forth. And the minister said on the floor of parliament that there's no consequences, no financial consequences, that you can't, it's just verbal warnings. Now, how can you have a law without any consequences? So what I did was last week, I went, I played back the voice note on the mic because we're not allowed to use a projector. I mean, you know the whole story. I played back the voice note on the mic where the recording of the meeting with the minister saying there's no consequences. And I went and I pulled out the whole Landsford Order, which is the law. And I told him Article 37, Article 38, they're saying you get 200 guilder fine. They could say they could seize your stuff. And if you put it back into play without it being corrected, you could go up to a maximum of 1 week in jail. Those are consequences. So then again, you're reading things that somebody prepared for you, but you're not going through it. And even if, let me tell you something, even if I read something like that, we had it with, I think there was the Minister of Education a couple of months ago when he said the school has 12 teachers and 11 are unqualified. And I mean, by that coming out of my mouth, I would say, wait 1 second, let me correct myself. And before that meeting finished, I had, because it does not make sense. You understand? And then the teachers kick up and they had a whole thing, and then he went by the school and he fixed it, he apologized. But if I see in a school have 12 teachers and 11 unqualified, then we have a serious problem.
We have a serious problem.
Again, it goes to preparing, going through what you have. And so forth. And in the part with the education now, at the end of the day, people vote for parliamentarians because they trust them. So you could not have any diploma, people trust you and they feel like you're the person that's going to enhance their way of life, they vote for them. I don't have nothing against that. But now it's on the person that they elect to put somebody there.
To put-
So I don't blame the person that's there. I blame the people that put him there.
That's what I'm saying. I was just telling you about in Curacao because I was talking about it too. Remember when Henry Louis was in power?
Yeah.
He put in a attacking cabinet.
Correct.
What he did is like Bailey said, if somebody have to operate me, I ain't gonna leave. You work with computers.
Yeah.
Who will operate me? Am I with a computer or a doctor? A doctor.
Correct.
A chirurg.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna put, let's say for example, a lawyer in education, maybe a businessman in TEAC. The prime minister was a director of a bank.
Yeah,
so he put different people that he believed that know what they do. And according to me, they didn't do a bad job neither. They was pretty okay. You know what I'm saying? And the last meeting again, Ardwell, MP Ardwell, shout out to him also.
Yeah.
He brought a point. Does the SGs get evaluated?
Yeah.
That's a point that for years nobody didn't bring up in Parliament. I mean, what's going on in St. Martin? Who's accountable to who?
Yeah.
How we don't evaluate SGs?
Who's watching who?
Who's watching who?
Because the minister is accountable to Parliament, but the SG, there's a miss somewhere between the
There's a
minister and the
miss
SG.
because how can you be? I'm happy with the SG, but how can you be happy if you evaluate him?
Right.
Based on nothing.
You bring a point about the balls, the
Bingo balls.
the bingo balls. MP, that was one of the best points. People can say whatever they want. If somebody, we have casinos here.
Yeah. A lot.
A lot of casinos, people just go gamble because that means the government just give out licenses
for them
for casinos, right?
Yeah, correct.
So don't want to tell me about luxury. People just go in there to do what they have to do. They have to have a chance to win, all right or
A
wrong?
fair chance.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
If you go in Las Vegas, listen, people have to have a fair chance to win, you know. They lock you up or they lock down your casino.
Okay, of
Because
course.
you can't have a casino and people going inside and they don't have no chance to win.
But Julian, it goes back to what I'm saying. It's sad, and I tell you, people hearing calibration, but why you keep on it? Why you keep on it? It's very important.
It's important.
It's across the board. It come from the people. It come from the man that went go buy the man on the road went buy a banana in the shop to the man that going in the casino. There's across the board. It's supposed to be fair. And if you're saying no, because he said, and for who forget and for what he forget, that it's not a priority.
But wait, since
because
when
it's a luxury.
Since when they check it?
2009.
But
It's not a priority.
You know what's 2009?
And he wasn't there since 2009. That's not my problem. But now here you are in 2019 saying it's not a priority to you. But then basically you're promoting criminal
That's what I'm
activity
saying. That's what I'm
because you're
saying.
saying no to the casino. Do what you want. No, bro. And
And-
then when your workers now eventually now go and do control, the casino person say, but your minister say you can't do me anything. You could go from here. And that's the sad part. When it comes to the bread, the price of bread hasn't been controlled in years.
No, man.
When I ask the question, the next day he come back and say, it was checked this morning and there was no coincidence. So I asked you a question yesterday. You don't check it for years, and this morning you send out people to do a rush.
Yeah, don't make
So
sense.
and you say it has been going on for every month. I say okay, no problem. I said I want a report for the last 6 months of all the checks. And what are they gonna do now? They're gonna doctor up something because it has not been checked. I know for a fact.
That's right.
And then my problem is this. I'm not saying that okay, you had to do it, but now that I bring it up, let's work on it together. We want the same thing right around.
Yeah.
He said, to put the Minister of Theatre to put a calibration department is gonna cost 900,000 guilders. I know that's a fictitious number. They just make it up real quick because you didn't do a manpower assessment. How you know all you need? He said, yeah, they need to buy equipment. So then what equipment are you using now then? If you say they're functioning properly and they don't have no department, so what equipment are you using now? So you understand the different holes and discrepancies and everything? I said, well, you could spend 350,000 guilders on Carnival, 350,000 guilders on the regatta, 200,000 guilders on the music fest. At the end of the day, those are things to boost our economic development.
Yes,
So I'm not
yes.
knocking it. But all I'm saying is this. The people deserve fairness as well. And when you go, let's say for instance the regatta is something that used to be free. Now they're charging for it and the government subsidizing it more.
Wow.
It don't make
We
sense.
don't want to
At least if it explain me how it makes sense, and then maybe I could understand. We can't just put it out in front and then expect that everything's gonna make sense. Right now the government only complete 7 roofs since Irma.
But in
That's
the meantime,
sad.
they didn't continue.
That's in actuality.
7 roofs today.
I've been hearing that. Why?
No, it's a
That's what I'm
fact.
saying. I've heard it for a
100%
while.
fact.
Yeah.
Watch a meeting last week with the Minister of Rummy. 7 roofs
So
still.
so the process has stopped.
I
Why
guess it
it's
stopped.
still
But you know
7
what?
roofs after so
You know
long?
the strange thing is, they are when you ask the question, they say yes, UNDP did 100,
They talk
Kid
about
Frank
what
did
others
100.
do.
I don't want to hear what they're doing. Ask what government is doing. When you look at the budget, 0 guilders for roof repair. 0.
Yeah.
0.
Well, quickly, MP, do
So-
you see any participation working together in Parliament? Because I heard you say at a time you hate the word opposition, right? Because it seems like you're all opposing everything,
Yeah, it's not true.
right?
So the word opposition is basically it means that you oppose everything.
Opposing, correct.
Yes, and in the States they say majority and minority. I would like the word minority more, but at the end of the day, it's not what I like. It's been there for years,
Yeah.
but it's not that I'm opposed into everything, because when they come with something good, I'm for it,
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So you see everybody voting their conscience, or people
No,
still playing?
I mean you could see. I mean
they
you
still
could see
playing party, right?
You could see it. I mean you watch. I'm sure you follow it.
Yes, still playing party politics. So
I mean, I could see them maybe approving a budget too next week. I mean, if it reaches the public meeting next week or the week after. But that's a
that
budget with
that
flaws.
budget is a joke.
A budget with flaws.
The biggest thing
Listen,
that stand out
the
to
first
me
2
right
pages
there,
you could open and
yeah,
But
the
MP
first thing there with the cars, $50,000 cars.
How are we saving money on that? How
wait, remember she said that.
I want you to explain.
I asked the same question.
She said with the maintenance. Right now that the cars are too old, they cost more
No,
to
but you have to
maintain.
realize now. First thing she said is that there's a policy that every 5 years they
Yeah.
have to change the car. I said, but
it
Prime
costs
Minister,
5 years.
the 2 sons are not 5 years old. They were 2016, so it would be 5 years old in 2021. She said, yes, but we will be saving money because it would go into the government fund. But at the end of the day, that's not saying you're still spending the money.
Wait.
And then the other question was, what about the Audi? Because the Prime Minister has 2 cars, MR1 and the L1. The Audi is the MR1 and the L1. Yeah, that's for picking up dignitaries on the airport. I said, so Prime Minister, there's a law that's saying that you can't drive the car. It's not to drive every day.
Okay.
I mean,
Waste
listen,
of money, bro.
not only a waste of money, but I put things in perspective. They went after the last government for putting up a flagpole where that's us. Today, without a flagpole there, even the idea, you imagine it, you feel proud. You see people running out
Always
there,
feel, yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah.
And when you do when you put it in perspective in terms of the numbers, the pole was donated, the materials donated, I can't remember the company, all those things were donated. So it's very little cost. So
MP, I find as a
you ready to kick up against the flag?
I find as
And
an
other things
MP,
are just-
as an MP of the country, the highest office of the
Quickly,
country.
fellas, we're running on time. We
as
gotta wrap
the
up.
highest in the country, I find that they have information that's still lacking you on. You know, it's like when you ask, because it's impossible. You have all these big companies, and you can't get the information you ask for. You know what I'm saying? So that have me a little. I just hope that it can get better within the years. And another fast thing I wanted to tell you of the Justice Department. Why is it? I remember Christopher also asked. He want to know all the positions. I don't know if did y'all get it?
What, the vacancies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
wanted
why-
to know all the positions. Who is in all the positions? How many Dutch people? How many?
Yeah.
Did y'all get it or not?
No.
Because when I see the Dutch folks walking around in the police department,
Man.
why they still here?
Listen, how much minutes we have? I have a short 2 minutes. Well,
We're wrapping up.
next time.
Next time, all right.
Post it.
Bro, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for
I really
having me.
appreciate
Really
it from the
appreciate
heart, because we have certain questions sometimes I ask myself
So much.
things, you
Yes.
know, I don't know, and I realize yourself sometimes as an MP don't get all the
Well,
information. but-
whenever I'm available, I'll be willing to come back.
yeah. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much,
that.
brother. Appreciate it, Ryan.
So, Martin people, that's our time for today. Thank you for yours. Thank you for listening to SOS Radio Strictly Business. Remember, life is all about choices. So be careful who you choose and what you choose, because time waits on no one. Till next time, Strictly Business.